There's a message. Give me the peace of death and I'll give you the joy of life. There's a switch below. Push it. No. Right, 'cause that's clearly old man, isn't it? Bold looking old man. The switch. You push it. No.
It's like infant until that's the first one you want. Lively boy. That's your first one, isn't it?
Don't know. So we're going to check them all.
Young man. Oh no, there's a newborn, isn't there? Yeah, no. Good job you didn't go with me then. It's newborn, infant, lively boy, young man.
Oh, no, it's all about that. Hang on then.
Middle-aged man, and then
Picture of a newborn baby. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Yes. Then what do we want? Infant.
Infant. Which is that one. And you want lively boy. Then I believe young man. And then there's the middle-aged man, isn't there?
And the old bloke.
And then, yeah, the bold old man. No, not that one. It's not Benjamin Button.
Going backwards.
Yeah.
Well, that looks tired and middle-aged.
It's about right, isn't it?
No, but I don't look tired when I'm middle-aged.
You look tired now, sir.
Thanks.
That is because it's like 22 minutes past 11.
Fucking hell, it's a late night for me, this is. I don't know what you're laughing at. I'll push the button, it'll fall off the wall. There's not even a nail holding it up.
Could just take it down. Will you take the angry star? I like how the music goes all ominous when that happens, but then nothing happens.
Yeah, no, it happens.
Unless you stupidly shoot your gun.
It sends a pulse of electric through there, doesn't it?
Hey?
If you get it wrong. It sends a pulse of electric through it. You see it go zzz, and then they fly off and start attacking it.
No, I've never seen that before. I'm not
The crows.
ask you to do it. We've done it now, so.
I'm doing it now, you get fucked.
That's why I'm saying I'm not asking you to do it now.
Go on.
Do it now, do it now, do it now.
I'm not willing to do it now.
You whore. Alright, that's one down.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about the Sega Saturn. It's just
It's a bit shit.
I don't think the console itself is. I think it's just like you say, the library of games on it was just wang.
It didn't really have any third-party support, did it?
No.
And first, it didn't really have first-party support. It didn't really have support. Is what I would say. It doesn't even got a Sonic game on it.
Yeah.
No, Sonic Jam's not like a proper Sonic game. It's a compilation game.
Yeah, and it's like what they started doing a few years after, when it was basically just re-releasing the Mega Drive store.
Yeah. It probably would have been a much better console if they'd have not bothered with the Sega CD and the 32X.
Well, the 32X was a cheap man's Sega Saturn, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bear in mind, that hunk of shit cost £500, no. Yeah, because it was like, no, it was the Sega CD, or the Mega CD, if you like, whatever you want to call it, was like, it was meant to take it into CD gaming, wasn't it, the Mega Drive?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
And then if you couldn't afford it, the cheap way was the 32X, because that played 32 meg games, which is what the CD is, isn't it? But it didn't put them on a CD, it put them on a cartridge. So you got, like, virtually the same graphics, but the sound and stuff was a bit shit.
Have you seen there are some which are 32X and CD games, like in one. Where you need both. Can you imagine that? To play this game, you need to have a 32X and a Sega CD and a Mega Drive.
Insane, isn't it?
It was.
Because then there was the Sega between the Mega Drive with everything on it and the Saturn. There was the Sega.
Is it a Neptune?
No, that's fake.
Is it?
Yeah. It's like the Sega Multimedia, which is a Mega Drive, the Sega CD, and 32X in one. It's everything in one.
I always thought that was the Neptune. Is that a fake thing?
Yeah, I always thought the Neptune was fake. Sega Multimedia, I think it's called. The insane, like £500, like, or something daft even now, like to buy, because they were that rare.
Sega Neptune was a 2-in-1 32X and Mega Drive.
Show me a picture.
I don't know if it's got one. Let me find out. Scroll.
Because I know the Multimedia has.
History.
Because I've seen the Multimedia for sale.
Keep scrolling. Come on.
Because it's shit, even now, because it's still cheaper to buy them all individually than buy the multimedia.
Because that presumably came out at the end, didn't it? And not many were made.
Yeah, but how many fucking... What? How many 32Xs did they sell? Like, none. Oh, stop doing that. That's going to well annoy me.
What? I wasn't looking then, sorry.
Being a twat. The game's being a git.
There you go. Oh, the Sega Neptune was cancelled. It was never actually released. It's Electronic Gaming Monthly used the Neptune as an April Fool's prank in April 2001, saying that they'd found a warehouse full of old Sega Neptunes and selling them for $50 a pop.
Yeah, really.
So, what do you say it's called? The Sega
Multimedia, I think it's called. Might be Multi-Mega.
Multi-Mega. This is a special piece of hardware developed by Sega and released in the...
That's it. Yeah, that's it. It's like everything in one. Literally.
Yeah.
If you go on like
Sega
eBay,
Mega Drive, Sega makes it in it.
If you go on eBay, it's like £500. It's like literally everything in one, isn't it?
It doesn't have a 32X in it. Yeah, it's a Sega CD. Yeah, it's the Mega Drive and Sega CD with a personal CD player in it as well. Obviously, you could do that with a Mega CD, but it was a pain in the arse to use. Basically, it had the play and the fast forward and all that shit on the front of it. But it was it was shelved when the 32X came out because it wasn't compatible, and Sega said it was like a novelty thing rather than an actual like mainstream console or whatever.
So if they stopped fucking about,
that was always Sega's problem, as they were always looking at the ways to prolong the life of the consoles
rather than
just make games for it, which usually does. They should have been.
Well, that does prolong your life, doesn't it, of your console?
Yeah.
Because you've got, do you know what I mean? You've got more to sell.
I remember reading somewhere. I can't remember what the game was. But it was like someone at Sega said that they were criticising Nintendo's Super FX chip. Obviously, they put in the cartridges to make them do more shit rather than releasing hardware or whatever. And he was like, "Oh, it's just an excuse for them to bump the prices up of the games and that." Whereas they're releasing new hardware and shit to go on top of it. Ouch. But then they released. There's a Mega Drive game, like a racing game, which has got like a Super FX chip type thing in it. It was like $200.
Yeah.
Richard, hold on. There is syrup.
Now let's just point out he's been bitten by a snake, which seems to have human teeth.
It seems to be a lot bloodier in this one.
Get it. Thanks.
My theory for maybe things being bloodier and more gory in this was Sega were never really... Sega were always meant to be the console with attitude.
Yeah, they were always they embraced it. I mean, you look at the RoboCop game we played earlier.
Yeah.
Was very gory, and obviously they had Mortal Kombat, didn't they? And with the blood in it.
Yeah,
they always embraced it. And a lot of their games were always kind of... They had a lot of like horror aspects to it. I mean, even shit like Decap Attack is very much about the dead.
Yeah.
And although it's a cartoony game, it's got, mummies and werewolves and skellybobs and all that kind of shit. And that Kid Chameleon, there's numerous abilities that you turn into, and you shoot skulls and shit out of a gun. They were always they like you say, they were the one with attitude because they wanted to.
They embraced the sort of the 80s gore factor, didn't they?
Yeah. Because there was I don't even know. I can't remember. You might have told me or not. I can't remember. But it was like there was like a poll they did where like kids wouldn't admit they had like a Nintendo, but they would if they had a Sega.
Yeah.
And it was because it was basically that same market that Sony went for.
Yeah,
they released PlayStation. They went for the sort of the teen demographic as opposed to the kid demographic. But I think the thing that PlayStation did quite early on was they kind of just went for all demographics.
It tapped into that. The good thing is that it tapped into, if you've ever noticed, it tapped into that sort of club scene.
Yeah.
That was very big in the 90s. It tapped into that.
Yeah. And it was by Sony as well.
Yeah.
Which they've always had that thing of being, they always had the best CD players and the best TVs and all that kind of shit. It might not be the case now.
Yeah, but at the time
they were, the Walkman.
That's what you've got to look at in it is the Walkman.
And they played on that very, very well.
Yeah, they tapped into that sort of the teen thing, and then with certain games they took it to the high end of the teens, you know,
Yeah.
18.
They had
stuff like
the
that.
adult stuff, but then they also had the family friendly stuff as well.
Like your Spyro
Yeah.
and your Crash.
They've got the PlayStation and the PS2 as well. Always had such a vast library of games for everyone.
Yeah, it was that thing, wasn't it? It was that they did although there's very good quality games on both consoles, they went sort of just release everything you can on it.
Yeah.
And, you know, somebody somewhere will buy it. And it works.
And I think Sony as well I know like Sega and Nintendo were both, they had the hurdles for third parties to jump through to get stuff released on it, whereas Sony was just kind of like,
I think it was
it's
dead
like-
easy to program.
I'm sure
for,
they
wasn't
said
it?
like, you send us $50 for a development kit
Yeah.
and then go nuts, you know, as long as you can get someone to publish it, you know, we'll back it kind of thing, within reason. But
Yeah.
like, they didn't have to. I'm sure they didn't have to pay like the crazy licensing fee. Like Nintendo, that's the problem they've always had, is that they have the licensing fees, which are insane. They always tried to control what got released on their consoles. I don't think Sega were quite as bad, but
No, but I think their consoles are notoriously hard to program.
it's because they were always very arcade orientated,
Yeah.
weren't they?
It's so to actually, because it's that's how it was marketed, wasn't it? It was an arcade machine for the living room, but then you try and program it something serious for it, and it's fucking, it's hard.
And I imagine that's probably why, like, from the third party support for Mega Drive, why like Capcom and Konami were always so good,
Here's the
Yeah,
serum.
because they made arcade games.
games.
Hold on. I'll give you a shot. now. Jill, here's my radio.
Yeah, with your Street Fighter and
I'm
your Pro Protector or Contra or whatever,
No!
they were
Richard.
primarily arcade games.
Yeah.
Jill, be careful.
And whereas, like, you know, Nintendo might have been easy to develop for, but you had to make sure you didn't have certain things in your game. If there was any sort of anything religious in it, you know, gore, strong language,
Yeah.
all that shit. It was just like, no, you can't have that here. Take it out or change it. Even because it was even in their own, like Earthbound was censored to high hell.
Yeah.